All right, this is recording 882. The name of this podcast is Listen Next 882. You can find my podcast at speakingtothecia.com or christinastation918.com, or you can find me on Podbean or Spotify or YouTube. Just put in Google speakingtothecia.com podcast. Okay, so this is recording Listen Next 882. So I'm going to continue on. Okay, so someone just pointed out something else to me. Okay, so let me put that in here first. Okay, so fire hoses then would be fire hoses or water hoses. And then that would equal she's using that as snakes, okay? And then blasphemy, see the word hoses, and then Jezebels. Hoses, she did all of that. Oh, by the way, did you know Charles Manson was a pimp? I also read that too. So, anyway, my roommate, I've got a new roommate. She just walked in and I'm doing a podcast and she's like, what are you talking about? My gosh. It's like listening to my podcast is like, oh my gosh, you feel empowered to like go change the world, hopefully. Change the United States. We'll start there. Okay, so anyway, also in the pen theme, her pen part plan of using the pencil part of her ciphers and planning to do the World Trade Center attack cases, she used pendulum, okay, which is the thing that swings in the grandfather clock, and then the grandfather clock, and then, so that's time, and then she also used pendameter, okay, the thing that keeps time on the piano. Okay, you're going to see on my podcast and everything piano, okay, and then you have and then in the CIN, okay, so you have incinerate, then you have burn, and then you have insinuate, then you have incense, and then you have frankincense, and frankincense goes to, sorry, my doors don't shut as easily right now. Okay, so frankincense goes to the Oklahoma City bombing, okay? And then it also goes to ESP. You're going to see on my podcast on Oklahoma City bombing 419. Okay, and then my other podcast, my last podcast, couple podcasts before this, where I was talking about Homeland Security. Okay, something else to point out is Bush and Cheney, they also start with BC, okay? And then also, that was a term that was coined or used. There's a term that was coined or used in war, and they called it carpet bombing. Okay, that's also initials CB or BC. Okay, and then you have carport bombing. Okay, so carport bombing is also CB. Which that would go to the first World Trade Center attack, okay, the basement, okay. So then moving ahead, I think I already told you guys about UFC, how UFC has CUF in it, Sparta, a sign of the future. Okay, so moving ahead, okay, remember I told you these side trips into music, or how she pulls music into all of this, and I'm like, oh my god, she did that too. Okay, so remember Boy George? Even look at his initials. Okay, so Boy George was in Culture Club and he died, okay? I saw him in my brain in mental telepathy. I was freaked out and I was so upset. He was bludgeoned. He was killed. And he was totally bludgeoned. And he was sitting in a car. He was like in a convertible car. And he was not in the car, but he was like talking to me. I don't know how he was like talking to me, but he was bludgeoned, but he was dead. It was weird, but he was completely bludgeoned to death. Anyway, he sings that song Red, Gold, and Green. Okay, so this goes to my previous podcast. Okay, so gold is yellow. So again, with the red, yellow, and green theme. Okay. And then also my parents' initials are also BC. Okay, and then going back to the early 1970s again, back to my Crayola caddy that I got for Christmas. She used that. Gene Roberts used that in Manson ciphers. And then it's leaking out to the future of her trying to call me crazy by me trying to turn her in for doing the World Trade Center attack and being the leader of Charles Manson since late 60s. Okay, so it all decodes out, so you're going to see all that. So something else to point out to this is, okay, Caddyshack, that was a movie that came out in the 70s. It had Chevy Chase in it, okay? So the SH note and then shack would go to MASH. You're going to see all code MASH. See all my podcasts on MASH. And then also Caddyshack is also my initials. And then you also have Caddyshack, CANNSH, and then you have Cash. That's probably something known out there that she probably used too. Okay, and then Chevy Chase, okay, and then my stepdad Jeff drove a Chevy Blazer, so Chevy Chase goes to Chevy Blazer, so it goes to my dad. So you have CS, and then you have CC, my initial CC, and then Chevy Blazer. So Chevy Blazer, there's another CB, okay, and then you have the 70s, the CB craze, the CB radio craze. Okay, so all of that is related. Okay. Also, not only the pencil tucked behind the ear, but also another pencil that she also used in her planning to do the World Trade Center attack was the square flat pencils. Okay, they look like towers. Okay, and then I wanted to talk to you more about the white bread and the rye bread, but I can't remember what I was going to tell you about that. You know, she traffics kids and she calls them bread, okay? She calls them white bread. She calls them rye bread, okay? She's called me rye bread as a child, and she calls me white bread present day. But what I was told is she was doing that on purpose, avoiding calling you rye bread. She was purposely signaling to you being white bread because she was purposely, intentionally trying to fool people that all know she's been calling people rye bread. Okay? So you're going to see all code around that. And again, that's my favorite bread. So you've got the whole breakdown on that word. Okay, so she has a whole collection of people that she has stalked, all with the rye bread theme. So rye, and then brine, and then rhine, all of that, okay? And she has fun with it. She has fun with it. She loves her some freaking kiddos. Doesn't matter the age. And she'll tell all kinds of fun little nasty lies around it. Making all kinds of new insinuations. She loves her some bread. What's bread? Money. It's trafficking. So anyway, okay. So in the there was something else. There's something new on TV, and I'm like, okay, she knows I'm going to see this. I'm going to be like, what the heck? Metabolic dysfunction associated steatohepatitis, MASH. Okay, it was some medicine for it, and it's called MASH syndrome. And I'm like, is that new? I'm like, because I decoded all the MASH. It goes all the way back to the 70s. So this is connected to that. It was actually discovered in 1980, which correlates around a little later than the early 70s ready coded date and timestamp MASH. You're going to see all code around MASH. Okay? So, also, it also goes, like, also goes to the MASH game, and then 918 is in it, probably Okinawa is in it, probably Volkswagen VW is in it. Okay, so APM is in this. The name, now come on, is Stephen Parent, and Stephen Parent also in Stephen Parent Patent. Okay, and then Sharon Tate, and then MASH is in that, and then MS is in that, and then MAD, and then 4-H is in that. So that all goes to that discovery. All that's connected. So you can tell she had some control of icing the naming of that to go along with all of her other ciphers. Another little side thing. But what the pharmacy industry could be doing is could be turning in Jean. They've got the power to do so. Okay, so, but I mean, instead of like panning to her, I mean, how insulting is that to people around the world? To know that that woman committed stolen valor, to know that she thinks she smoothly lied her way out of everything, and that she just gets a free, just golden white devil pass from all her white devil associates. And everybody else just has to just let her just get away with everything. She just gets to get away with everything. She didn't do anything. It's everybody else's fault. She did the World Trade Center attack. She did the Oklahoma City bombing. Hundreds and hundreds of other crimes. I've decoded probably over 1,000 crimes. And she runs child trafficking rings. She pimps children, just like Charles Manson. Charles Manson was a pimp. So is Jean. She's a child pimp. And she always has been. So moving ahead. Okay, so you know how she tells all the lies about red, black, and white? And red and black? And everybody's like, red and black does not mean, because when I first was like with the red and black, remember I told you I could see underground, and I could see where everything is red and black, and everything is red, like everything is red and black. It's not just red tinted. I mean, everything, like there's creations, like there's even red and black animals, or everything is red and everything is red and black. Okay. The fighting, the Spartan fighting gear, like I don't know what the word for it is, but everything is red and black. Okay. So anyway, she here in Tulsa, and then she spread it everywhere, and people are like, come on, bitch, you just need to go to jail. She spread everywhere that red and black and red, black, and white means her little sick, little nasty world. Her con cover up, what she does to make money. Her kind of people where she pretends that they're not her kind of people, but yet they all know her and she all knows them, and they all help her commit crime, and she never goes anywhere without her entourage of them out committing crime for her and graping and fanning her. Because she gives them anything they want. Who gave her the free pass? Who gave that group of them the free pass to do any of that? And all I ever hear back in my brain is they were told they can do anything they want, and they were paid to break down the government. And it doesn't matter that that's what they are. They don't care. The government doesn't care. That's all I ever hear in my brain. Well, then why does Jean try to hide it so bad? Why does she try to project and lie when she's clearly caught? I've clearly turned her in. Everybody in the world knows that's what Jean Roberts is, and what the whole group helping her get away with this shit at the core is. So why does she need to hide then? If she can just do what she wants and just get away with it. What's up with all the secrecy and all the hiding and avoiding the law, and then pretending to be the law, like actual law doesn't know this is going on? I mean, it's a trip into stupidity. It's because she's holding people hostage, because she's got ballistics, which is near the point of nowhere near even an excuse. But I know it's at nuclear level, but there's still arrest her. So, and it has to be the human toll. because she cloaks herself in not only people that she's abused, okay? Like, she pretends to be me. She pretends to steal my life and steal my identity. She pretends to be me. She steals my decode. She farms it out to her little entourage, and they all pretend to be me. She pretends to be me, and they use it to cover their asses, thinking they're just, you know, whether male or female, they're just the TNA of the United States of America. I mean, they think they are that hot shit. They are trash. Trash. From no money to rich. They are trash. They're sick people. They're you-know-what. But anyway, so I don't know why she hides. But anyway, so she's also hides under, she is running a hostage racket. So she's got celebrities. She's got people's family. She's got notable people. So she hides and she shields herself underneath people. So there's also civilization underground. So the human toll is probably also stopping the United States from taking action, is all I can think of. I don't know why she's being allowed to get away with any of this. Anyway, so she calls the red, black, and white her kind of lifestyle. Okay, red and black just simply means Illuminati is what it means. Okay, and from what I figured out from decoding is there's Illuminati that's yellow and blue, that's royal, okay? And that comes over, I think, from England. All right. Then, so like British, okay? But then that you also have like Southern British too. But also you have, coming from the South, you have, coming from British territories, you have where the red, black, and where I've decoded where the red, black, and white comes from. So it's like different factions of Illuminati is all I can figure out, but I don't know how it all works. But it's Illuminati. But remember, her Manson occult hides within and underneath the Illuminati. Okay? So she's using, it's like she's covering up the Illuminati goings-ons with her smud crud friends. And then acting like she's running around saving people that they and herself have attacked. I mean, they're just disgusting. And I mean, it's kind of freaking funny. Despite all the terrorism that Jane has committed, it's kind of freaking funny. Because you're Illuminati, dude. I mean, I'm sorry she's putting dude in my sentence, but I'm like, you're Illuminati. And she is using that technique to be your protector. Like, that's hilarious. And you gotta laugh at that, okay? That's hilarious. That tells you they cannot be approving of that. That's ridiculous. But she likes to concierge everyone. So, I mean, that's really, really bad. So, I'm going to end this recording and then I'm going to do another one.